Hello!
Hey!
We're back!
Yay!
I'm Adam.
I'm Reanna.
And this is the Mom and Dad Cuss a Little podcast.
Or a lot.
Or a
Sometimes
lot.
we cuss a lot.
Yeah, it's usually a lot. And if you are new to the show...
Welcome.
And happy Halloween!
Yay!
I need a sound effect for that.
Oh! We could get Sam out here. Ooh!
But we are a married couple, and we have 4 crazy kids.
All boys.
All boys.
I feel the need to point that out, like, all the time.
Yeah. It's like, we don't have 4 kids, we have 4 boys. And so we basically come on here and talk about our lives in marriage and parenting and
the shit that the boys make us put up with.
And
that's pretty much it.
Yep. Because when you've got 4 boys, you don't have much of a life outside of that.
No. There's a lot of shit.
A lot of shit.
Figuratively and literally. Oh my god.
And we do all of this without any sugarcoating. Because, you know,
obviously.
That's kind of the tagline. So, dear, it's been a little over a month, I think, since the last show.
It's been a while, yeah.
Because school
Oh my
and
god.
life.
So, I thought I was super smart in taking one class at a time for my degree.
Yeah.
And the way the online classes are structured is they're only 7.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I can handle anything for 7.5 weeks. It's no big deal. Like, I can do this. This class, oh my freaking goodness. This class is ridiculous. Like, just the expectations that she's put on the schedule. Most classes are like, here's your stuff for week 1. Everything's due by the end of the week. This one, she's like, here's your stuff for week 1. You've got stuff due on day 3, day 5, day 6, and day 7. Good fucking luck. And it's ridiculous. So, I'm glad I'm only taking one class at a time. Because she's insane. But at the same time, it's like, now I have no time for anything.
Yeah,
whereas before, I could...
a lot.
Yeah, whereas before I could kind of stretch things out and work at my own pace, which is the entire point of taking online classes, is to, you know, work to whatever your flexibility needs are. And the way that she has it structured, you can't do that. So it's just really frustrating and stressful. And we're only in week 3. Yay!
Yeah. No, I mean, you've been just so... it's just been constant with this class.
It is, and I mean, I love it because it's a children's literature class, so it has so much to do with my library science degree that I will be getting.
Yeah.
So it's amazing, and I absolutely love the content of the class and the information that we're learning. I love it. I love it so much. But I hate the way it's structured.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. I just can't. So.
Only 4 more weeks to go.
4 more weeks to go. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So,
and then on top of that,
light a candle for me, guys.
Is it like your advisor was basically told you, like, yeah, you can't keep on going with one class at a time?
Yeah. Because, like I said, the classes are 7.5 weeks. So, for one full semester, there are 2 sessions. So, you do session A and session B. You can take a class in session A and a class in session B. And that's one semester. So, I'm technically taking 2 classes a semester. And she was like, well, that's a really slow pace. I don't know how that's going to look for financial aid. And the fact that you had transfer credits, you may have to, like, write a letter of appeal as far as, like, progress towards your degree goes, because they want you to make a certain level of progress, which makes sense. They don't want you going to school for forever. I get it. But I don't want to have to go through the whole appeals thing, because I had to do that at Del Mar, because every show that you're involved in counts as a credit hour. Mm-hmm. And so they pulled my financial aid because I had too many credit hours. And I had to go through the appeals process, which pretty much every theater student had to go through. Mm-hmm. But it's just a pain in the ass, and I don't want to have to do it. So I decided to take 2 classes per session starting in January. So I'll be taking 4 classes a semester.
Yeah.
So here goes my 4.0 if it doesn't already go this with this class.
Exactly. Like, you're a 4.0 so far because you've had the time to really put into the classes. But if you don't have that time, it's yeah,
Unfortunately, my grades are suffering because of this class.
Yeah.
Because of the structure of it. So I don't know what it's going to be like when I have to take 2 classes at a time. Mm-hmm. It's going to be ridiculous. Yeah. But that's my struggle.
Yep.
But that's the main reason why we haven't done any recording. Is just because the structure of my class requires that I do homework and that I have stuff due on Sunday and Monday, which are your 2 days off.
Yeah.
Which is usually when we do the recording
days.
So we just haven't been able to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like you've had so much, like every night, really, you've been having to work on, and like study guides and discussion questions and quizzes and essays, and you've got so much crap you've been doing. It's like every night you're up later and later doing more and more stuff. And like, I'm not about to push the issue of recording a show when you're already that stressed out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually what I do is I stay up till 10 to work on school stuff. And by then I'm so utterly exhausted that I have to go to bed or I start typing gibberish. So I give myself until 10 o'clock. The boys...
It's education, so it's for kids. So gibberish is totally in their wheelhouse.
Right. Totally works. The boys go to bed at 7, so Charlie reads until about 8:30.
Yeah.
And I'll tell him, like, I've got homework, I can't answer questions, I can't, keep pausing to help you with words, so you need to figure them out, you need to use context clues to answer the questions yourself, and only interrupt me if you have to.
Yeah.
And so he'll sit next to me on the couch reading while I'm doing my homework, and that's how I get most of it knocked out, but... Before this class, I usually had Sunday or Monday or both off.
Yeah, you pretty much were, like, free. Like, the 2 days that we have home together, you were pretty much, those are days you had your homework. Everything was done for class.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm not starting anything until Tuesday, so that, our days together were our days together.
Right. But the way she has it structured now, excuse me, because of it, there's been days where I've had to come home on Monday and lock myself in the bedroom and just be like, just give me 2 hours by myself. I have to get this done tonight.
It's like you come home from work and you lock yourself in the bedroom until it's time for me to put the boys to bed.
Yeah.
And
it's just, it's ridiculous. It's so stressful.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this class to be over. But yeah. So it's been eating away at my schedule.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, I'm suffering at work because of it. My performance has really dropped the past few months, and my boss has pulled me over, and, we've talked about it. And I finally sent her an email this week. I was like, this is what I'm dealing with. This is the stress in my life right now. My degree is the most important thing to me right now. I want to get this knocked out. I have this amazing opportunity to be going back to school. I want to take advantage of it. I want to get it done. And I'm only adding to my stress starting in January. So I need to step back from all of the projects that you have me on here at work because my metrics are severely affected right now.
Yeah. You've just got so much on your plate that it's affecting your regular work ability.
And I'm like, I know I'm better than this. You know I'm better than this. Let me have time to prove it.
Yeah.
Let me have my breathing room to prove it.
Yeah. I need to focus on actually doing my job, not all the other stuff you do.
So I've pulled back from a lot of the projects and a lot of the different things that I was doing. So hopefully next month that'll help.
Yeah.
That's really all I can say. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yep. But I am very excited because this week is Halloween, which means it's a whole new year. Everything can just go out the windows, figuratively and literally, and start all over.
Yep.
Because one of the joys of our household, it always feels weird to open that broom closet door.
Yeah.
One of the joys of our household is that we are, the closest I can relate it to is pagan.
Yeah.
We are of alternative viewpoints from the majority of the world. And so for us, Halloween is basically like New Year's.
Yeah.
Where, people make resolutions and it's a whole new year and, bigger, better things are going to happen. Well, for us, that's Halloween.
Yeah. And ridding ourselves of, bad luck and bad energy and
all that bad juju.
And re-energizing our lives and cleansing our home and all of that.
Yeah, and I mean it's a big deal here. Like, we go through the house and we clean it top to bottom. We make it completely spotless. Everything goes back into the place that it's supposed to be in. We, completely physically clean the house.
Yeah.
And then we cleanse it. And for that, we go through with the sage. We'll go through with the candle to put light in all the shadows and
open up the doors and windows and more natural light.
Get the natural light in here. Get the actual air flowing through. We go through with bells because, one of the, I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, I don't know the word you're going for.
Not myths, but one of the beliefs, I guess, is that bells drive away bad spirits. Mm-hmm. We actually have a bell hanging over one of our door frames that every once in a while we just reach up and smack it just because it's a bell. Yeah. So we'll go through with the bells, and that's the boys' favorite part. They love the bells. Yeah. And then we actually have cinnamon brooms. For those of you who don't know what cinnamon brooms are, educate yourselves because they're amazing. I love them. They are maybe about 3 foot long.
Yeah, I think we get 3 foot brooms.
And
I've seen full size.
Yeah.
Massive, Harry Potter looking cinnamon brooms, but I don't think we need that.
No, but they are very, very thin brambles that have been bound together and soaked in cinnamon oil. I've known a lot of different cultures that use them, not just us.
Yeah.
I know a lot of different cultures that recognize them as symbols of good luck or symbols of purity, whatever.
Yeah. In the traditional sense, the cinnamon broom is for good luck and supposed to push away negative energy.
Yeah.
And
so we go through the house and we sweep out the bad. And then we hang the brooms over the front and back doors. And then they make itty bitty ones that are my favorite because they're tiny and they go in our cars.
Yeah. So we have little cinnamon brooms that actually hang off the rear view mirrors in the cars.
Which I like because every time I see it, I'm reminded of a quote. I don't know who said it or what movie it was in maybe, but you can fly out on the same broom you flew in on.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I don't know, but it makes me smile every time. It's like, oh, there's the broom I flew in on.
And what's funny is that I've had a cinnamon broom in my home since I was a teenager. And it was originally, most people that use them, it's more of a holiday type air freshener.
Yeah. Well, and it only comes out this time of year.
Yeah.
This is the only time you can get them. And sometimes we're even...
we're hunting for them.
Yeah, sometimes it's it's cutting it real close that we can't find them in time for Halloween.
Yeah. And
we, like I said, it's this thing. We have to hang up our new brooms on Halloween. There was one year that we didn't, and we had a shit year that following year. It was awful.
Yeah.
And so I will not, call me superstitious all you want, sure, but I will not go without putting up our brooms on Halloween.
Yeah. And we're very much in that it is renewing our energy and our good fortune for the year. And we feel it.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, come September and into early October, things get shitty for us.
Things start breaking down.
Stuff starts breaking. Things start going sour.
Finances
get tight.
There was one year where we got
reasons.
speeding tickets and parking tickets and then car troubles, and it was just... Was that the same year we got sued? Yeah. We got sued. Now... I got sued. Then they took my money.
I got sued, and this was... Now, this was a case of... defaulted on a credit card.
Because of your injury.
Because of my injuries. Just hadn't paid it. I was like, okay, Well,
we were young and dumb back then. We didn't know that you're supposed to contact people and tell them that you're going through a hardship. We just kind of hid from everybody.
Well, at the same time, this is the only organization that came after us.
True.
And
Nobody
they
else
had the smallest amount.
Yeah.
This was a credit card with $1,000 balance
limit.
on it.
No balance, yeah.
And it was like, I had $3,000 credit cards that were out just as long. I had like $5,000 or $6,000 credit card that we hadn't paid on just as long.
Yeah.
We got bills from them, but we never got a, hey, we're going to come after you for this money.
Yeah.
And then
not only did they come after us, they wiped every account that we had completely freaking clean.
Yeah, they sued.
Which I found out later that I could have countersued because it was partially my money and they're not allowed to take that.
Yeah.
But
too late.
Whatever.
But yeah, basically they
at that
sued.
point I was just over it.
They got the default judgment against us, and then
you.
They put your name on it because we were married.
Because we were married, yeah. But
even though technically that account was all on me. It existed before we were married. But yeah, basically one night it was a Friday night. I'd just gotten paid. I stop at the gas station and it declines. I'm like, what the hell? He just got paid. Yeah. And I look at the bank account, like pull up on the mobile thing, and it says negative $2,000. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, that next day we cried a lot.
A couple hours up on the phones with customer service and finding out what happened. And we're like, oh shit. And then I don't think I even went to work the next day because we were having to deal with all of that crap. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was so much back and forth with banks and with this and this before we eventually got it all taken care of. But yeah, it was one of those cases where we had direct deposit, and as soon as the direct deposit hit, they went and hit the account and they tried to take basically everything that they'd gotten a judgment on. Well, we didn't have that much in the bank because all of our stuff, because we're young and technologically hip like that, all of our stuff, cars, phones, even our rent at the time, with everything was on an auto payment straight from our bank account. And because of our paychecks and where they fell, everything was set to pull on payday, basically. Mm-hmm. So paycheck hits, all these things hit. They try and hit me for $2,000 something. Mm-hmm. And because of how everything works, basically the bank cleared everything and then hit us with all these overdraft charges too. Yeah. And they were like, shit.
I just remember crying that whole day. Just like, I felt sick to my stomach. Yeah. But that was because we hadn't hung up our cinnamon brooms. Yeah, so now, never again. I will never, ever, ever. Yeah. I just won't. You know that Taylor Swift song? Never, ever, ever. That's me with my cinnamon brooms. Like, I will never let them go. Yeah. So, it is my, one mission in life to make sure that the house gets cleaned. Yeah. The day before Halloween, so that we don't worry. We usually end up cleaning on Halloween. Yeah, because we have 4 boys. Did I mention we have 4 boys? And then we hang up our brooms because we just need them. Yeah.
Because really, I mean, you can blah blah and oh, you're superstitious and roll your eyes all you want, but after Halloween, our luck changes every year. Yeah. Everything smooths out for us come November.
Yeah. And, maybe it is a placebo effect. Maybe it's mind over matter, but okay. Yep. It works every year, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah. This is our playoff beard. I don't care.
Either way, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And the boys know, and the boys love it. Yeah. There's nothing different for them. Mm-hmm. We celebrate Halloween a little bit bigger, I think, than anybody else does, because we do our big clean. We do our big cleanse. And then we do a big meal. And, you know, it's Halloween. It's festive. It's a feast. It's our big holiday.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people go all out for Thanksgiving. We generally don't. Thanksgiving, we kind of have it at home, and it's a little meal, and, you know, it's a day off.
We do Thanksgiving. We do a full Thanksgiving dinner.
We do.
But we don't go stupid crazy, and because we're not super social, it's like we don't typically invite a bunch of people over or anything.
Yeah, I mean, we have done dinners with your family.
Yeah, it's like we've gone out to my mom's or stuff like that.
But it's a rare thing.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously we don't celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Yule, which is like a few days before Christmas. But we do the exact same thing. It's, you know, it's a small family thing.
Yeah.
We just keep it with us. So it's just, you know, Halloween is our big thing.
Yeah. You know, getting ready now, getting, you know, kind of prepped and everything ready. And you spent the entire, because I work, you know, Saturday. So on Sunday, you know, it's, you know, more clean. But you spent basically all of Saturday while I was at work cleaning the house. And today was just upkeep, and the boys are basically on, like, this house has to stay clean.
Yeah, anything you take out, you will put away or you're grounded, and we're not going trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Which, yes, we do go trick-or-treating. Yeah. This year, the boys are going as mice.
Yeah. Because, and I think we talked about it last year, that we always do a family.
Yeah, we kind of always have a theme.
We always do a theme, and that's kind of your thing. That's very much your thing.
It really is. And I mean, it's easier that way, and then nobody's, like, pissed off that somebody got to be Iron Man while they had to be Captain America. You know, no, we don't have any of that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to the same thing. We're all going to do the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. So, we've done, like, beach bums, where we all dressed up in beachwear. We've done pirates. We've done a rock band.
Yeah.
You know.
There was a year where we were all vampires.
We were all vampires. That was such a cute year. I loved that year. I wore this, like, sparkly red dress, and then we went to Ross and found those
like
little suits for the boys. Oh, it was so cute. I loved it. So, yeah, and then this year the boys are going to be mice, and you and I are going to be farmers.
Yeah.
So, that'll be cute.
And they're going to be like country mouse, so they're going to be...
Yeah, they're going to be country mice.
Yeah.
They have, like, we got the little mouse ears and tails on Amazon, and then we went to Goodwill and found them all, like, flannel plaid shirts.
Yeah, I think we got, overalls for Sam.
And Sam has little, corduroy overalls. Oh, they're going to be so stinking cute.
So, yeah, it was like, we do the traditional Halloween stuff, but we also, you know, have our... kind of our personal
well, and I mean,
stuff.
it's like Christmas. We do stuff on Christmas Day. We don't celebrate Christmas in the, you know, Christian sense.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with us, honestly.
Yeah.
But we also celebrate Yule a few days before, on the 22nd or whenever it falls.
Yeah.
Equinoxes. We do our Yule thing. The boys open their presents. Mm-hmm. And if presents came in late, they didn't get there for Yule, then we'll let them open them on Christmas Day.
Yeah, because most everybody is sending you stuff with the target delivery date of the 25th.
Yeah, which is fine. You know, no matter how many times we tell parents and parent-in-laws that... Whatever.
Yeah. But
their beliefs trump ours, I guess.
But
whatever.
That's another show.
That's another show.
But it's Halloween, and so, yeah, and it's, you know, I think it's funny because you actually had kind of determined, it was probably back in April, you had decided we were going to do this show this way this year.
Yeah, that we were going to come out of the broom closet.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel super weird.
I know, and I guess because...
So, when we say out of the broom closet, most people refer to pagans or Wiccans as witches.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we define ourselves.
It's the easiest way to explain it.
It really is. And no, that doesn't mean Satan worshipping. Hello, you have to believe in Satan to worship Satan. We don't.
Yeah.
So, that's a Christian thing. So it's not black magic. It's not voodoo. It's not any of that. Yeah. It's just being natural.
Yeah.
You know, very in tune with nature. Call us hippies if you want. Yeah. I don't care. But it's just very weird because I am out of the broom closet at work.
To a certain degree. There are some people that you aren't as comfortable with that. And I know you've had...
No, my team knows.
You're more... I know in the past you were very...
I haven't been
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
But my whole team now, they know.
Yeah.
It's been a lot more recently that I've come out to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because they're like, oh, what is that? And I'm like,
And it's weird
because
it's complicated to explain to people in modern times, especially when we're very low key in everything we do.
Yeah, I mean, we're not the ceremonial type that have like altars or, you know, ritualistic ceremonies or do spells or any of that. Not, you know, not saying that any of that is bad or any of it's wrong.
It's like for the biggest spell, the biggest sort of, if you want to call it magic that we do is when we do our cleansing of the house.
Yeah.
And things like that. And we've done that for other people in
when they move into a house or
move
whatever.
into a house. And that's something we always make sure we do when we move into a house. Mm-hmm. That before we move anything in, and even kind of I grew up where my stepmom's Filipino, and the first thing you walk into a house with, in a new house, you walk in with salt and rice. And nothing can come into the house before the salt and rice. And in our case, I know, it's weird. Even my dad, you know, they've been together for, God, it's almost 20 years now. God, they're old. But...
Said the old man recording a podcast.
But it's still weird to my dad, but he just accepts it.
He just goes along with it.
Why, it's like Asian rice. Why the salt? Why, whatever. But at this point,
because rice doesn't taste very good without a little bit of salt. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Sure. I'll tell Carmela that that's the justification we came up for the salt and rice.
I don't know.
But every time we move into a new house, before we do anything,
we sage it.
We sage the house. We go through and do a full cleanse of the house. Mm-hmm. And, you know, same as we would on Halloween.
Yeah.
We just go through and we cleanse, you know, open all the doors and windows. And, you know, basically we bless the house, basically.
Essentially, yeah.
And, you know, hang up the brooms and all of that.
And then everything can come in.
Yeah, and then we can move in. And I remember, I don't remember if it was this house or the one before, that after we did the initial walk through the house, like the first time you saw the house, that you didn't even set foot in the house again until I did the cleansing.
It was the last house.
Yeah.
And we both went to do the cleansing.
Yeah.
And as we were leaving, I pointed out what creeped me out the first time.
Yeah.
And you heard it. We both heard it. It was creepy. That's a different show. But yeah, and I mean, we do our cleanses to align kind of with the equinoxes and stuff. So for witches, Halloween is the new year, so that's when we do our big one. And then halfway through the year, we do our spring one as a spring cleaning.
Yeah,
very literal
spring, kind of a refresher.
Yeah, it's just to revive everything.
Yeah.
But I guess the best way to kind of describe the difference between pagans or Wiccans who do the ceremonies and the rituals and the spell work and us is you have your Catholics and you have your non-denominational Christians.
That's actually a really good way of putting that.
You know, you have your hardcore Catholics that go to church that do, all their different catechism.
They go through everything.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They go through everything. They do their first communion, they do their baptism, all that jazz. And then you have your non-denominationals who may or may not go to church every Sunday, whose church may or may not be held in an auditorium. It's that kind of difference.
Yeah. We are much less formal in our
practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, when there are multiple pagan sects and there's Wicca, and there's a ton of different denominations within the big bubble.
I think even Druidism falls within it, which was actually recently recognized in the UK as a formal, recognized religion.
They get the tax credits. But the fact that the Druids are still around, they're just highly selective. But I think they said there's only 1,500 officially recognized active Druids. But the fact that, think about this, there's 1,500 active Druids. They didn't all go away centuries ago.
Neo-Paganism is a recognized... It's one of the top religions. You've got Catholics, Christianity, whatever. It would be Christianity. You've got Christianity, Buddhists.
Judaism.
I
was I wasn't going to say Jews because that's not technical. I was let's say the real word.
Yeah. It's one of the top recognized religions in the world.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's
not the big three, but it's still in the top 5.
It's still up there. So it's not, it's not us being back to Salem witch trials or anything like that. It's...
Although, I guess compared to other members of the family, we're not as obvious, but I think there's probably enough evidence in the house to get us burned at the stake.
Well, yeah.
It's I could definitely say, my sister's going to be ahead of us in line.
Well, yes.
She is much more traditional in that she's got the altars and things like that. She's much more, I want to say obvious, but
much more out about it.
She's much more out about it. I know it's really funny, and I guess it goes to half about the intersection of the cultures and half about there's only so many ways you can describe things. It seems like in this case that gay euphemisms cross over very frequently.
So true.
It's we're just going to, adopt all of the gay terminology because it just works in this case.
It just works.
It's we came out of the broom closet. It's we're very out and open.
You're referring to your sexuality or your religion? Yes.
It's my sister is very obvious. Yeah, it's just kind of a funny thing, but yeah, she's much more open and obvious about it. Mm-hmm. Whereas, and like I said before,
we've even talked to her about how do we go about these subjects with the boys?
Yeah.
How do we raise them to have that open mindset and know that this is what you and I believe, which is not necessarily what they're going to see at school. Yeah. And, and it's hard because you don't want to tell them that they can't do something at school. No, you can't sing Christmas carols in your winter concert. Yeah. You can't color pictures of Santa. You don't want to tell them that they can't do any of that, but you also don't want them to feel left out or, feel alienated or different because that's not what we celebrate.
Yeah.
We're
not those militant
you don't want them
witches.
To feel like they're missing out.
Yeah, exactly. And because my sister has been very out for, I'm trying to think about it. We've, for us, it's been nearly a decade, but for her, it's been quite a bit longer.
Yeah.
But both of her kids were raised that way for the most part. Mm-hmm. And her oldest just turned her, but her oldest is 21 and crap. I just suddenly realized her birthday was in January.
Yeah.
It's I feel like she just turned 21. Oh, fuck, it's October.
Yeah, she's going to be turning 22.
She's about to 22 in 2 months.
Yeah, so she has gone through it.
Yeah.
So she's been a really good resource for us. How do you handle that? What is the discussion? What is the conversation like? And so she helped us a lot with that because when we lived in Texas, I unfortunately wasn't allowed to be what I am.
Yeah.
Because my parents are very Catholic.
Yeah.
And when I started getting really into it and really started seeing the alignment with what I actually believed and what this religion is like, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That fits with what I think. And so I started getting really into it and reading books about it and doing my own kind of research. And I got caught and I got in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And it was not pretty. And so I kind of had to hide that part of myself for so long and just, you know, go with the flow and pretend and whatever. So when we were in Texas, it was still very that. But when we moved out here, we got away from, it sounds awful, but we were away from my family so I could be more me. I could, you know, this is what I actually think. This is what I actually feel. We have our own home where we can set our own boundaries, things like that. And, you know, we don't have people telling us what we can and cannot do. So I really wanted to kind of explore that, and I didn't know how.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had Charlie, and I was like, I have no clue. Because I didn't want to force him into anything.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. I don't want to force you to believe what I believe simply because I believe it. Because that's what happened to me, and obviously
that's kind of,
it didn't
to a certain
work
degree,
out.
That's how we were raised, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, obviously for me, that didn't work out. You know, just because that's what my parents wanted me to believe, and they sent me off to Catholic school for 6 years. It didn't help. Like,
yeah. Exactly. It's like, you know, I'm one of 7 kids, and we were all raised Catholic, and even with, like, some of my cousins, it's kind of a running gag that all of us, you know, all of the 50,000 of us, we're big ass Mexican family.
Huge.
All of the 100 of us, which is a more conservative, probably still short estimate. We were all raised very old school Mexican Catholic. Mm-hmm. Like, and our grandfather was the deacon of the church, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Nana was the head of the choir forever. And
so was my stepmom.
And you know, so, but it's funny that to a very large portion of us have left the church, both for personal reasons, but also in, like, especially in my family in particular, like, we have gone this way, and much more, you know, you say even older school, you know, very old school, naturalistic pagan direction.
Yeah.
And, you know, hell, you could even attribute that to the fact that, like, growing up in Arizona, where we have such a big Native American influence. Well, there's even those traditional things are so strong, and those, I mean, even in public school, you learn so much about that sort of naturalistic mindset and being in tune with nature. It's
even
kind of
out here, there's a huge pagan culture.
Yeah,
I mean, they do that big festival down at Steel Indian. Mm-hmm. Every year, and I've been wanting to go, but it's just always
it's always the scheduling for it, trying to go out there,
But they do that big festival, and, you know, there is a very strong presence here.
Yeah.
And so,
never mind, like, go up to Sedona, and Sedona is
like
touristy.
New Age.
It's so New Age. It's super hippie stuff.
Very.
And we went up there when we first moved out here because we were trying to find a place to get a cinnamon broom. Because oddly enough, when we lived in Texas, they were available year-round at the grocery store. You could walk into H-E-B year-round and buy cinnamon brooms, and it was awesome. We moved out here, and nobody
had even heard of them.
Yeah, and we went.
They're like, no, they're like this big, and they have like twigs. And people are like, "What are you talking about?"
Like, we figured Sedona, it's really, you know, New Age and hippie and all about that sort of thing, and it's all full of psychics and witches and all that stuff. They've got to have that stuff.
Surely they will have it.
Surely they'll have it. No.
No, they didn't.
For that matter, we
have
can't
every type of crystal you could ever imagine. Oh, yeah. And I got a really nice box for my tarot cards, but...
Yeah. You could get tarot cards and learn divination shit. Like, learn to read tea leaves.
You can get an aura reading, which I did have, and it was, like, super weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Well, you're going to hit that tea a little too hard. I'm going to go.
Yeah. They're a little too campy.
Yeah.
But that's predominantly for the tourists, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm definitely going to say that when we go up there, we feel it.
Yeah, it does have a very strong vibe.
There's a different energy up there for sure. And we definitely feel it when we leave.
It's draining. Which could just, you know, be attributed to the altitude, but still.
Yeah.
It's very draining.
But yeah,
I love Sedona. It's beautiful up there. And the energy up there feels amazing while you're there.
Yeah.
But leaving, it's so draining.
Yeah, you go up there and you're like on a high.
Yeah.
Just naturally on a high. And then you leave, you feel it come off. Like, oh, this is what a hangover feels like. Fuck.
Yeah, it sucks. But I love it up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we tried to go up there to find cinnamon brooms when we first moved out here. And then we found that Trader Joe's typically stocks them.
Yeah, come October they carry them. They're probably one of the first ones out here to get them.
Yeah.
So.
And they sell them for much cheaper than anywhere else. There was one year where they didn't get them in time and we had to go to like Albertsons or something. Yeah. And they were like $8 for a broom.
Yeah, I remember like one year, it was like $8 or $9 a piece. I'm like, we're going to pay like $3 or $4.
Yeah, Trader Joe's is usually $3.99 for the big ones and then $1.99 for the tea-tiny ones. Yeah. I love those. They're so cute.
You say tea-tiny, they're about the size of a hand.
They're itty-bitty.
I mean, compared to the 3-foot broom that's over the door, it's tea-tiny, but it's about the size of your hand.
But it's itty-bitty. It's so cute. I just love them. And the lady at Trader Joe's always laughs at me because I'm like, yay, brooms.
But it's funny when people come around, like come November, around the beginning of holiday season where they're still very fragrant. And I remember when we were living with my sister, it's like she would get headaches from how strong the cinnamon is in those first couple days.
Yeah, it is pretty intense. And unfortunately, one of our sister-in-laws is very allergic to cinnamon.
Yeah.
And so whenever she would come around right after we hung them, she would like have trouble breathing and she'd get headaches, and she just really doesn't like cinnamon, and they are very, very potent.
Yeah, I will say that.
They soak them in cinnamon oil for a while. So, yeah. But that is us. That is what we do.
Yeah. And like I said, we still do that. I think it's funny that for people that are, and we're into Halloween both for our personal reasons, but also just for like traditional Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
And we decorate the house, and the house looks Halloween all the time.
I was going to say, we kind of discussed this before, that our decor style is very glam goth.
Yeah.
So we kind of have those decorations up all year.
Yeah. Our nice,
like Froderick up there, he stays there.
Yeah, your new skeleton that you got, and you got a few of them actually. The crystal ball you got.
It's not a crystal ball; it's a snow globe.
Okay, fine. It's a snow globe with a skull in it, except instead of snow, it's bats.
It's little bats. Oh, it's so cute.
And we've got our wooden cat on a pedestal.
Yeah, black cat on a pedestal. His eyes glow. Got a really pretty bat candelabra. And then we've got this guy over here who needs a name.
It's just it's like a wooden...
It's a wooden cutout of a skull on a really pretty, like, filigree black canvas.
Yeah.
Got all this shit at Michael's, y'all. It's so cool.
Some of our most, like, really fabulous... I don't know what other way to describe it. Some of our most fabulous, really just boom, obvious decor came from Michael's. I was like...
They had these little... like 6-inch figurines of full skeletons, head-to-toe skeletons, that were in different yoga positions. Like, they had one that was in, like, the lotus position. They had one that was in, like, the prayer, whatever, the namaste prayer position. Mm-hmm. And they were out. They were sold out when I went to buy all our decor. I was like, no, I wanted them.
And then, of course, we still, and we didn't mention it before, our little, you say they're little figurines of, like, with the sugar skulls.
Oh, the Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah.
Bride and groom.
Yeah, the bride and groom.
Yeah.
And we actually took the spider that came off the candelabra, and I kind of hung it on her as kind of her creepy person.
Spider made the candelabra a bit too campy, but now it's her. Now it's her clutch.
Yeah. But yeah,
and then we have our really pretty. We actually got that from the grocery store. The skull candle. That's like
it's like a black and silver,
but it's like silver filigree skull. That's a candle.
Yeah,
I love it.
Never lit that one.
No, and we never will.
Never will. Personally, I'm superstitious, and I grew up with, ghost stories and and haunting stuff and paranormal stuff all around, and I have never heard a positive thing come from lighting a skull candle.
Yeah, no. You've seen Hocus Pocus, right? There's black flame candle, don't fucking light it.
Yeah. Like, don't, is it a creepy candle? Fuck off. I was like, you know what? It may just be a candle. It may be made with baby blood. I don't know. I'm not going to fucking try it. So much child death.
So much child death.
But yeah, that's just who we are.
It's just how we function.
Yeah.
And the boys are into it. And, if they grow up and decide they want to be Catholic, then, good for them. So be it. Whatevs. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not
going to make them do what we do because we do it.
No, I'm not going to. And Charlie, for the most part, accepts it. He knows what we do and he's comfortable with it. We actually had a talk this week on the way to school because they are getting ready for their winter concert.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of Christmas carols. And he was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to go to the gym because people who don't celebrate Christmas have to go to the gym during music. And I was like, you don't have to. You can go sing. It doesn't matter. Like, what matters is what we do at home. And if you're comfortable with singing those songs and you want to, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Just because we're not allowed to.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the way I explained it to him, because he was saying, like, a lot of the kids that have to go to the gym for that are like the kids who are Jehovah's Witnesses or they're Jewish or something like that.
Right.
And I told him, like, there's a difference between us and them. I was like, we don't celebrate Christmas. We don't do those Christmas carols, even though sometimes we'll listen to them in the car on the way to school or whatever.
Because we have no fucking choice. Thank you, KEZ.
But, and like, those kids and their families and in their religion, they can't celebrate Christmas. They aren't allowed to do those things, so they have to sit out.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't have to sit out. If you want to sing those songs and you want to be in the winter concert, you can be in the winter concert.
Yeah.
It doesn't change who you are and what we believe.
Yeah.
So
it's not what we celebrate, but you're also singing about Santa. Yeah. So
you're singing Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
He was so excited when he saw Feliz Navidad on the song list.
Yeah, I know. Such a weird child.
But yeah, he was excited he gets to sing. And I will say, Christmas carols are generally very happy,
They're just catchy.
They're catchy.
Like AIDS.
That's right. You heard it right here. Not from me. Christmas carols are like AIDS.
Just saying.
Direct all your hate mail to...
Please do, because honestly, I'll out myself here. I hate Christmas. I cannot stand that holiday. Yeah. I hate it with a passion. Flame on the side of my face. I hate it. I can't stand it. I can't stand anything about it. I have become the Cindy Lou Who of Christmas time. I can't stand it. She doesn't like it because it's all commercialized. That's all it is. It's all about presents.
You kind of got that backwards, though. Cindy Lou Who loves Christmas. That's why she's upset with everybody else who's commercialized Christmas.
Whatever.
That's loves
the
Christmas.
General feeling of apathy that I have towards Christmas. And I have family members who love Christmas. It's their favorite holiday. And oh my God, let's watch Elf. Like, I'd
no.
really rather not.
I would rather not because Will Ferrell is fucking retarded.
But
I honestly cannot.
I refuse to watch any movie that he's in.
Yeah, I think there's like one movie he did that I think I will watch. And
it's only because he's like very barely in there. Wedding Crashers?
No, he ruined Wedding Crashers.
Yes, he did.
Wedding Crashers was a perfectly enjoyable movie, and then he shows the fuck up. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. I can't watch the last 5 minutes of this movie because of your ass. Thanks a lot. I was perfectly enjoying Owen Wilson. You fucker. But I forget. There's like one movie he's in. I forget what it is. I think
because he's that forgetful.
He's that forgetful. I think Old School there's enough of everybody else to dial him back, but it's still a little.
Yeah,
but
I
will watch The Grinch. I love The Grinch, both versions.
I like the cartoon version. I'm not as big of a fan of the live version because he talks out of the side of his mouth and it really bothers me. Like, it just really bothers me to the point where about halfway through the movie, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, you get weird hang-ups about shit.
I do.
It's like, your problem is that he talks out of the side of his mouth? Really? You won't watch it because of that? Really?
Just talk like normal. It frustrates me. But, yeah.
But yeah, I'll watch A Christmas Story 4 or 5 times on Christmas Day.
So much.
You know, so.
I don't know. People get too up in arms about it, and so I don't like it.
and I'm not a fan of the commercialization of it. Yeah. But, you know, I'm a big supporter of the idea behind celebrating Christmas and the I don't even see, honestly, like, and this is just a personal thing, I don't see people recognize that at all. I know.
When they celebrate it. It's
so much now, yeah.
It's Black Friday shopping and we have to go and we have to be there and we have to sit in line for 5 hours and then we're going to get all the deals. And then Christmas comes around and we're going to obsess over everything and everything has to be perfect. And we're going to have this big feast and everybody's going to come over and then we're all going to look perfect and we're all going to take Christmas pictures. I'm like, just fucking calm the fuck down, you know?
Yeah.
Dial it back.
Yeah. But that's another show.
That's another show. I
need to get a sound drop for that. I just need to pull it off an episode of Good Eats.
But it frustrates me because people get so worked up about it. And I'm just like, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Like, it's really not.
Halloween is that big of a deal.
Yes. Halloween is much better. Can we just replace all of the shitty holidays, like Christmas and Valentine's Day? Can we just have Halloween for every single one of those? Like, let's just do it.
But, you know, it's really funny. But, again, we talked about how much we decorate the house and how much, like, we love Halloween and get so excited about it. We don't give out candy.
No.
Ever.
No. Yes, we did 1 year.
Because the boys were all grounded.
No, we did 2 years. Because Charlie wasn't old enough for us to go trick-or-treating 1 year.
I know there was a year the boys got grounded and we didn't go.
Yeah.
But there was another year, I think it was just like a case. There was something else going on.
There was 1 year where I couldn't go because I was super pregnant.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
And so I stayed home and handed out candy.
Yeah.
While you took the other two. I think y'all went as pirates. That was the year we did pirates. That was
the pirate year, you're right.
And I was pregnant.
You were pregnant with Bug that year.
And so I stayed home to hand out candy.
And Bug's birthday is in November.
Yeah.
So.
I was very, very pregnant.
There was no walking around the block with him.
No. I was like, unless you want to get a wheelchair and wheel me around, I'm not going.
Yeah.
But I stayed home and handed out candy. And then Charlie's first Halloween, you were working. So he and I stayed home and we sat on the porch. He was like
3 months old at the time.
Yeah. And so we sat on the porch and handed out candy to the kids in the neighborhood.
And that was the only Halloween or any holiday we had in Texas.
Yep.
Yeah. We had a Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and we moved out here in the following April. So. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Back then we celebrated Christmas because,
you know, Texas.
And really we didn't even do anything at our place. We went to my dad's.
Yeah.
We went to our parents' houses and
then for Thanksgiving I think we went out to my aunt's house.
Yep. We went to your aunt's house for Thanksgiving and we went to my parents for Christmas and Yep.
Fun stuff.
Yep.
But now we're on our own and doing our own things, making our own traditions.
Yep. And still raiding the boys' bags for Reese's.
Oh, hell yeah. There is a huge parent tax.
Oh, yeah. And
last year it was hilarious because we took all the boys last year and Damien kept as the people were talking to us, he would just keep taking handfuls and they thought it was the most adorable thing. So they kept letting him. And I was like, no, stop.
He was snaking so much candy last year. And it doesn't hurt that they're all adorable and they get away with murder. So they're already getting like huge handfuls of candy on the adorable.
Yeah.
But then he'd be like, "Can I have another one?" Or Damien would just
straight up ask, "Can I have another?" And they'd be like, "Oh, honey, that's cute. Sure. What do you want?"
And he would like reach into their bowl or whatever and start pulling out what exactly he wanted. And
or then they'd like start talking to us about, "Oh my gosh, you have 4 boys. That's insane." Whatever. We'd start having that conversation. And he's just over there grabbing handfuls, like while they're distracted.
His bag was probably a good third heavier.
Oh my God. It was so bad. I was like, "Damien, you can't do this." And
I'm basically carrying his bag and I'm carrying Sam's bag.
I'm telling you, this year we have to take the wagon. Like, I'm not kidding. I think we're going to have to.
But yeah, we had so yeah,
there's a huge parent tax. As soon as we get home, we separate out the chocolate from the not chocolate and then the good chocolate from the crap chocolate. And then the Tootsie Rolls go in the trash.
I don't get your thing about Tootsie Rolls.
They're nasty. I don't like...
Love Tootsie Rolls. I'm not supposed to eat them. But I still...
I mean, I'm not supposed to have sugar.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're on a low sugar diet now. Have fun, dear.
Oh, I will.
I think realizing... Yeah, I realized that because I've had such a huge intake in candy... Since I kind of got my addiction to worms.
You did say on your last show that...
I am now heavier than I've ever been in my life by a great deal.
You're heavier than the dog.
I'm heavier than the dog, and I'm heavier than the dog for the first time in that dog's life. But, because he was fat and now he's not, and now I'm putting on weight.
You have gotten kind of addicted to those gummy worms, though.
Yeah, I've kind of developed a gummy worm problem. And so
Hi, my name is Adam. I like gummy worms.
Worms Anonymous. Adam. I gotta go to a Worms Anonymous meeting. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to dial back my candy consumption again. Not because
if we come home with as much fucking candy as we came home with last year. And we're actually going to have more this year because Sam can trick-or-treat now?
Well, he was with us last year, and I had a bag for him. And he was in the stroller. I rolled up to doors with him in the stroller.
Yeah.
So, they're like, "Oh, he's so cute." And I remember when I was a kid, when you rolled up with like a tiny little kid that they knew wasn't getting any candy, they shortchanged you.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, that's for the baby. The baby doesn't need candy. Here's a gumdrop," because we know it's going to go to one of the other kids.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a handful for the older kids. Here's one piece of candy for the baby.
In this neighborhood, this is a good neighborhood to trick-or-treat in. Let me just say that up front.
We got good neighbors.
We got good neighbors because they go out when they get candy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they get big fucking bags of candy. And so by the time we get around to them, they're like, "Here, we've got extra. Just fucking take it."
I know. We got a lot of houses that just got handfuls. I love that.
Yeah.
And you know what? What's really funny, with exception to a couple of years where I was working on Halloween, and by the way, I never work on Halloween anymore.
Yeah, we've made that a rule.
It is a rule.
And we just got approved for 2 additional, personal holiday days.
Yeah.
So if we have holidays that fall outside bank holidays, because they follow the Christian calendar, we get to use them.
Yeah.
So now I can actually have Halloween off and not use my PTO. I can use my personal holiday.
Yeah.
Yay.
But yeah, I always take Halloween off. But I think with a couple exceptions to where I was just happened to be working on Halloween, I've never in my life stopped trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
That even when
I remember I got so mad at my stepmom one year because she was like, "No, you don't need to go trick-or-treating. You're too old for that." So I literally dressed as a baby and went. I'm like, "Now I'm not, so cute. I'm going."
I at least always had the excuse because when we lived in Texas, my little brothers, were, they were young enough, we still went out with them.
Yeah.
And so all of us, all 4 boys, we all would still go out together. And my next youngest brother, he's 3 years younger than me, we would still dress up. We'd go out with the little boys and we'd do kind of one lap around our block. It's a big block. Take an hour to get all the way around the block.
Yeah.
And so we'd make our lap around the block and then we'd drop the little boys off. They'd go to bed And then all of the older kids, and you knew in the neighborhood, that's basically how it went. All of the older, like the high school age kids, basically started doing the outside of their immediate block and stuff like that. And like, so you'd get around to like 8 or 9 and the entire neighborhood, and there were tons of haunted houses. And in our neighborhood, they went all out. There was a house decorating contest, and there were houses you were legit afraid to walk up to the door. No bullshit, afraid to walk up to the door because you had to walk under like an 8-foot spider that you couldn't. It was like, you're not getting to the candy unless you walk under Bill's spider. And oh yeah, you can't cut across the yard because it's full of zombies and werewolves and a fog machine, and you don't know if there's somebody under that fog.
Yeah. Oh, I remember there were times when I would just tell my dad, I was like, I'm not going up there. You have to take me up there. And like he would have to carry me up there. Like, I want their candy because I know they've got good candy, but I'm not going up there. Carry me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know the scary house has the best candy. But
they make you work for it.
Yeah. But they all, in our neighborhood, it was all, after 8 o'clock, it was all teenagers. It was all the older kids, and they were totally fine with it. But until I was still trick-or-treating with my little brothers. I was 21, still taking my little brothers out trick-or-treating, still dressing up. And even, then there was those couple of years where, I was working. I couldn't go out for Halloween. Yeah. Sucks. And nobody's fucking eating them.
That's what I like about our neighborhood is that, at least in Surprise and the neighborhoods that we have lived in, all of the neighborhoods are small and concentrated and consist of just a few blocks. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy, like our little section here, to walk our 5 or 6 blocks in, a kind of windy S circle.
Yeah.
And all of our neighbors are great. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of kids here. There's a school right around the corner. So there's a lot of kids here. And it's great. It's very, very accepting of the whole Halloween thing. And I know a lot of places now have stopped. Like, there are neighborhoods that don't do trick or treat. They do trunk or treat, where they go to the parking lot of the, community church, which isn't a church, it's an auditorium. And they'll decorate the trunk of their car, and the kids walk that circle to pick up candy. And I'm like, that's so fucking lame.
Yeah.
Like, I get why they do it. It's a safety thing.
And I remember, and I'm sure they probably still do it, and I'm probably sure they do it at more of the malls. But I remember Metro Center out here when I was a kid, they would do trick-or-treating at Metro Center. Yeah. And all of the shops, like whatever shops chose to participate, it was basically after hours, they would open up and you'd walk in the one entrance, and they're like, you start here and you walk and you trick or treat through the mall. And it'd take you probably an hour or so.
That's kind of cool.
To make your way through and it was all just on like one level.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. And you just walk your way through, and we'd go do that, and then we'd still go trick or treat our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And this is when we lived in Sunny Slope, and it was a huge neighborhood, and it would probably take us 3 or 4 hours. Yeah. Going through our neighborhood, just hitting like 3 streets.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I like about living out here is that, you don't go down the block and only like 5 houses are giving out candy. It's the majority of the houses are open and doing business. Yeah. So it's nice. Mm-hmm. I know that the community that I want to live in, the houses that I've shown you,
that are far away,
galaxy far away, they do trunk or treat.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't.
I know.
I can't.
I know. I don't like it, but I get it. I understand why parents are for it. I'm not.
Or even like I've seen there's some places where like how this year Halloween is on a school night. Yeah. And so they'll like as a community decide, we're going to do our trick or treating on Saturday, or we're going to do it on Sunday or whatever, but we're not going to do it like on Tuesday because it's a Tuesday.
Well, and see that's another thing is that we do it early because we have little ones that have to be in bed.
Yeah, it's like we start our trick or treating night early.
Yeah. So, and most of the parents in this community do too.
Yeah. I will say this neighborhood is pretty much, trick or treating is pretty much over by 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely over by 9. Yeah. It's pretty much over by like 8.
Yeah. It's like I was like, but again, we don't really hand out candy ever. It's like, we're out. We're all out.
Yeah, we all go out.
We all go out. So there's nobody home to hand out candy. So we don't decorate outside the house.
No.
The inside is very festive, but all the time. But the outside, nothing.
Yeah.
We're as unassuming generally as we can be.
Yep.
And it's funny. This is the only day of the year that we socialize with anybody in the neighborhood. Neighbors. We don't ever talk to our neighbors unless they ambush us when we're going out to the car. Which the guys next door have been trying to do to me a lot lately. Stop trying to talk to me. I'm trying to. It's just like they're sitting on their front porch or something talking, and then I walk out to go to work, and they try to talk to me, and I'm thinking, I'm going to work. Bye.
I'm leaving
Bye.
now.
I'm leaving now. Bye. And of course, and I'm not as awkward when I'm good at faking it.
Yeah.
I can, pretend to conversate. So.
I got mad at them the other day because I was going to get our groceries from ClickList. And they've been having a garage sale like every Saturday.
Yeah, like every Saturday they've been doing that.
But one of their people that was buying shit from their sale was parked right behind our driveway.
Yeah.
Parked right behind the car. And I was like, I stood there for a good 10 minutes, just like staring at them like, hello. But they were standing there talking to each other. And I was like, excuse me, do you know whose van this is? And they're like, oh, no, let me find out. Just like, you've seen me standing here at my car for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Yeah.
And then the lady came over. She's like, I'm so sorry. Fucking move your van.
Yeah. It's a yard sale, not a swap meet.
Yeah. I'm just like, ugh, they frustrate me. I don't like neighbors. I'm a country mouse.
Yeah. You like where neighbors are, a mile or two away.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a country mouse that married a city mouse, and we compromised and live in the suburbs.
Yeah. We live in the suburbs to the suburbs to the suburbs. Because if we lived in the direct suburbs, you still wouldn't be comfortable out here.
I'm not even comfortable with where we are. I don't like it. There's people right next to us. Ugh.
Well, dear.
Who lives like that? Barbarians.
Yeah, totally. Barbarians, in the middle of surprise, live right next to each other.
I just never understand it.
Yep.
Why do you want to live that close to people? Like, ugh. I want to be where the people aren't.
Yeah. Eventually you need to write the rest of that song. Don't want to be part of your world. But, dear, we've been rambling on about holidays, mostly Halloween. For the most part.
Halloween. As Sam would say.
Halloween.
Halloween.
But we've been going on for over an hour now, and I don't honestly know what I can cut out of this, but we've been going on for over an hour. So I think we're in a good place to call it for the night, don't you think?
Sure. Who are we going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Anywho.
Anyway. Any departing words or final thoughts, my dear?
Departing words?
It's Halloween.
Jeez.
It's departing words.
If y'all don't hear from me,
I haven't turned on the mics.
I'm being forced to do this show against my will. No.
The Dark Lord is making us...
Goodness.
All right, dear. I guess it's time I do my spiel then.
Yep.
That's time for the spiel.
Tell them the things.
Tell them the things. All right, here are the things. If you are so inclined to actually reach out to us, you can find us on Facebook at Mom and Dad Cuss, or you can check out all of the past episodes at momanddadcuss.blogspot.com, and I think coming up somewhere here in the New Year's, I'm just gonna buy a damn domain. Yeah, I'm saying it in front of you, but...
Good luck with that.
It's not that expensive anyway, but...
Yeah, but I want a puppy.
Puppies cost several $100s. Domains cost like $15.
Buy me a puppy, you can have a domain.
That is totally not a fair trade.
Super fair trade.
Not a fair trade. But again, while you're over there, is that their momanddadcuss.blogspot.com. Click one of the little subscribe links there, whether you're using the Apple Podcast app or Spreaker or Stitcher or Google Play or any of those fun things, And leave us a review while you're at it, because it's awesome to hear from people about what you think of the show. And apparently people like this show more than my other show.
It's because of me.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all you.
I'm amazing.
Add to that bitchy feminine touch.
Wow.
You gonna argue that?
No.
No. But
rude, but factual.
Yeah. But leave us a review, or leave a review on the Facebook page. We just want to know what you think.
Nah.
It's gonna cut down everything I say now.
You called me bitchy.
And you said it like that, and you really think that you're proving my point. Anyway. Until next time, because I can't remember what the hell else I'm supposed to say. Good night, everybody.
Good night.